Well, welcome everybody. Here we are in parking space 9 at Grand Cayman, where we landed yesterday. I managed to commit to memory the fact that it was parking space 9. And that's where we're starting off today. We're going to do full flight Saturday. Full flight Saturday. Normally it's full flight Sunday, normally. Apparently it's become normal because I did it once. Anyway, we're going to do a full flight today. 207 nautical mile flight from Grand Cayman to Sangster, Montego Bay, where I'm going to be landing in real life in the coming weeks. So let's get up on the flight deck and let's get started on this full flight video. We'll reset the camera as always because they just can't seem to make that work. And let's get rolling here with our startup procedure, huh? Battery.
TAWS system test. Okay.
Owen Roberts Tower says the November 343 Bravo
CPU.
VFR to Sangster ready to copy.
Altimeter. 29907. Nav source FMS bearing 1 GPS.
Takeoff runway 8 climb and maintain 9,000 feet.
Option 2, 9,000.
Frequency is 128.1 squawk 1127.
9,000 feet.
Cessna November 343 Bravo Whiskey cleared
Sure
to
that came
Sangster
out
Airport
all right.
is filed.
Yes, good.
Takeoff runway 8 climb and maintain 9,000 feet. Departure on 128.1 squawk
Give me the
1127.
transponder. There it is, 1127. Okay, start the right engine.
Read back correct. Contact ground on 118.0.
Hydrostatic heat. Wait for that
Owen Roberts
right
ground
engine to
says
come
the
up.
November 343 Bravo Whiskey requesting pushback.
Parking brake.
Cessna November 343 Bravo Whiskey
VS.
request accepted.
3,500 feet per minute. Speed. Switched from FMS to manual, and then 195. This is what I use in the sim. All right. Wait for that right engine to come up. Keeping an eye on that N2%. Get our lights on. Recognition and anti-collision. We're moving now. That pushback. Zoom in on the MFD. There we go. Winds are out of the northeast here in Grand Cayman and also in Jamaica. So we're
Owen Roberts ground Cessna
taking off to the
November
east
343 Bravo Whiskey requesting the end of pushback.
and landing on runway
November
07
343 Bravo Whiskey request to end pushback received.
at Montego Bay. Go ahead and enter our frequencies here, but first we'll confirm that right engine is started, which it is. Now we'll do the left engine. And while the left engine is coming up, you see right there the percent is coming up. We'll turn our taxi lights. We'll go over here and we'll enter our relevant frequencies. ILS frequency for runway 07 is 109.5. And the VOR frequency
Owen Roberts ground Cessna November
at
343
Sangster is
Bravo Whiskey with exit ready to taxi
115.7.
IFR.
115.7. So we've entered
Cessna
both of
November
those.
343 Bravo Whiskey taxi to and hold
Barometric
runway
minimums
8
at Sangster at Montego Bay are
tower on 118.0
307.
when ready.
307.
Taxi to and hold
Speed
short
bugs.
runway using taxiway Cessna 3 Bravo
Set
Whiskey.
195. Set V approach at 140. All on. All right, we're basically set up now. Yeah, we're landing on ILS runway 07 via the Omoxy 5 star. Airport elevation 7, we'll be exiting right. Runway length 8,735 feet. Approach course 071. We've actually landed at Sangster before. This was the flight that actually inspired my decision to actually go to Montego Bay in real life. But we're going back because we need a full flight video. And this is a nice quick one. So let's go. Jesus. Toe brake! I hope we didn't hit that guy. That was a little uncomfortable. Alright. Taxi all the way down to runway 08. We're going to get in the sky. We're going to do a short little hop across the Caribbean. You're stuck with me the whole time. And then we're going to land at Sangster in Montego Bay. I can't wait to see it for real. I think it'll be fun. It's interesting. They want us to get onto the runway. Oh, what the... Why did we lose our arrows? I guess we're supposed to taxi down the runway to get to runway 08? This is a little strange. Not unheard of that you would get onto a runway and use the runway as a taxiway. I guess it's possible, but it just doesn't seem clear to me as to why we would need to. But whatever. Okay. I don't see any aircraft on final, so let's get those cockpit lights up a little bit. All right, let's get in the air. What do you guys say? There's a turnaround spot here at Grand Cayman. You can see right there. We'll use that to turn around. Winds are 13 knots from behind us, so we'll have a nice headwind to take off into. There's our turnaround spot. Okay, now let's hope we get cooperation from ATC. Nice. Very good.
Runway ready for takeoff IFR to Sangster.
November tree, 43 Bravo Whiskey cleared for takeoff.
Straight out, then a right turn at Revan.
Cleared for takeoff runway. It says in November.
Awesome.
43 Bravo Whiskey.
Get our lights going. Light up like a Christmas tree. Nobody's on final. Timer. Get that ready to go. Make sure we're aligned properly. Notch of flaps. Don't want to forget that. Taking off without flaps can be real serious business depending on the airplane you're in. Ruin your whole day. Alright, friends. Everybody ready to go to Jamaica? I am. In real life and in the sim. Alright, we're nicely aligned. We see that both by looking at this white icon. This airplane icon is perfectly aligned with the stripes, and also looking over here on the MFD, we're perfectly aligned. We'll zoom out now. And let's get in the air. Start our timer. It's going. Okay, friends. Let's go. Here we go. Sink our heading bug, last but not least. Just in case we need it. Airspeed's alive. Wind's basically coming straight at us, 13 knots. 120. 140. And we'll rotate. Pause the brake, gear up. Engage the autopilot.
128.17.
Auto throttle.
Bravo Whiskey. Kingston Center says the November 343 Bravo Whiskey is climbing through 2,000 feet for 9,000 feet.
Engage the FLC.
The November 343 Bravo Whiskey Kingston Center continue to rev at his plan.
Set our speed to
Altimeter 29.9 or 7.
little stuttery. 220. Bring in those flaps. Flaps are in now. Goodbye, Grand Cayman. We're starting our full flight. Oh, the water. I just love the way the water looks.
Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey climb and maintain flight level 230.
230, Cessna 3 Whiskey.
Climb and maintain flight level 230 Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey.
That's our cruising
Cessna Tree
altitude.
Bravo Whiskey climb and maintain flight level 250.
Wait a minute. Well, I remember setting
Climb and
230.
maintain flight level 250 Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey.
It's a little strange. Let's request a lower altitude. Cruising altitude decreased by 2,000.
Kingston Center Cessna
Re-engage the
Tree Bravo
FLC.
Whiskey.
Get those landing
Request
lights off.
flight level 210.
Ooh, wait a minute. That's interesting. I just asked for 2,000 feet lower.
Tree Bravo Whiskey climb and maintain 17,000 feet. Expect flight level 210.
Did you hear what just happened? I
Climb
requested
and
2,000 feet
17,000
lower
expect flight level 210
because for whatever
Cessna
reason
Tree
it told me to go up to
Bravo
25,000 feet, but on the setup page I selected
Whiskey.
23,000
Tree
feet.
Bravo Whiskey climb and maintain flight level 250.
Again! Oh, it's another bug. It's another
Climb and
bug.
maintain flight level 250 Cessna Tree Bravo
Why would I
Whiskey.
climb to 250? Set 310 on our FLC. This is strange. Okay, you want me to go to 250? I'll go to 250. Request cruising altitude increase by 4,000 feet. Let's see if this gives us 250.
Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey.
My guess is it
Flight
might
level
be
210.
hung up a little bit on the SID, the standard instrument departure.
Climb and maintain flight level 210. Expect flight level 250.
Okay, fine. All right, that I can work with. Luckily, this thing just climbs like a rocket.
Level 210. Expect flight level 250 Cessna Tree
I didn't
Bravo
really. I mean, it's a 207 nautical mile flight. I don't need to fly high.
Climb and maintain flight level 250.
ATC's all over the place.
Flight level 250 Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey.
Anyway, yeah, I'm just speculating. It might be part of the some conflict that the sim doesn't know how to resolve. In as much as I would, on a flight this short, I don't need to climb up to 25,000 feet. I could, but I just didn't deem it necessary since it's so short. But the SID, the standard instrument departure, that's part of this airport, and there are lots of SIDs, there's lots of stars, standard terminal arrivals as well. It might have 25,000 as part of it. And the sim's struggling to kind of resolve it. So I'm just agreeing to fly at 250. Okay, standard on the... Why is it not working? There we go. Okay, so our altimeters are now set at 299 or 2. Say goodbye to Grand Cayman. There it is. There's our. You can see the beacon on there. Our airport. That's the island of Grand Cayman. Never been there. It'll be interesting to see if. I don't know. I mean, my flight into Montego Bay in real life, flying out of Dallas to Montego Bay. I don't know. I'll have. You know what? I should do that in the sim. I should simulate that flight in the sim. You know what I'm talking about? Just to like see what I'll pass over. It'd be cool to fly over Grand Cayman. I don't know if I will or not, but zoom out on the MFD. I think we get some more speed out of this baby. Almost a cruise. 330. We can do it. Come on. Let's do 330. Nice. Hauling ass. Winds are coming at us from the left at 17 knots, so we'll see whether we get the oscillation roll problem that's been vexing me. Ground speed's 456 knots. You see right there? TAS, GS, they're basically in parity because the winds aloft aren't really affecting us. I mean, they're coming from our left like this. If you look here on the MFD, they're coming at us like this. How do I know that? Because I'm looking at this number right here. Winds are from the left at 17 knots. So they're not speeding us up, they're not slowing us down like a headwind or a tailwind would customarily do. And that's why there's parity between TS, true airspeed, and ground speed. Timer's correct, showing us about 8 minutes into the flight. We're already at cruising altitude, 25,000 feet. Altimeter's confirmed at 29902, standard. If my previous video on our approach into Montego Bay, I called it the teardrop approach, and it is an interesting teardrop approach. Take a look. So we'll fly. I found the published approach plates for the ILS approach to runway 07 at Sangster International. And I don't know if if it has to do with avoiding hotels or I don't know. I'm not sure. But you know, sometimes hotels don't take kindly to airplanes flying over the pool on final approach. So anyway, we're going to fly over this area here. This is the northwestern tip of Jamaica. Kingston's down here. We're going in Montego Bay, which is here. We'll fly over these mountains. I remember seeing them last time. Then we'll make that left, we'll make a big U-turn, and we'll actually fly directly over the VOR at the airport, SIA, S-I-A, which is the VOR at Sangster, whose frequency is 115.7. We'll overfly the airport, heading west. We'll get to Delta 280 Kilo, and then turn left. And then Omoxy, which remember, we're flying the Omoxy 5 Star, the terminal arrival, standard terminal arrival. We'll make that left at Omoxy. From Omoxy to Anapa, which is right here, is 5.4 nautical miles. And from Anapa to the airport, I'm sorry, it doesn't show on here. From Anapa to the airport, which is right here, is 5.5 nautical miles. So it's a 10.9 mile final from Omoxy to Anapa to the airport. So it should be pretty smooth. The approach plate says that at Omoxy you want to be at 3,000 feet, which is consistent. Remember, you know the rule, right, by now? You want to be generally at about 3,000 feet, 10 miles out. 1,500 feet, 5 miles out. 6,000 feet, 20 miles out, and so forth. Well, we are, as I already mentioned, Omoxy is 10.9 nautical miles from the airport, and the published approach plate says we want to be at 3,000 feet at Omoxy and 1,900 feet at Anapa. So that's what I would expect. That's what I would expect. There's the big, beautiful Caribbean. I see the wing inspection light is on right here. You see this? We don't need that on right now, so let's turn that off. And then go back outside. I wonder, is that oscillation roll appearing now, or are we starting to roll? Switch over to Mach unit 7.4. I think we can do better than that. What do you say about that? It's okay to go into this red zone. You just got to use caution about overspeeding the airplane by going up into the barber tape. Already got Betty telling us the destination ATIS of 127.9. Go ahead and enter that. This is mostly useless in the sim because it just relays standard information that's not true. Like, it's almost like they made it just so that you would hear somebody talking on the ATIS. That's not actually telling you anything useful. Although it will tell you correct ground temperature on the ground, and also it will tell you the correct winds sometimes. So we'll check back in. I'm not surprised that... Oh, we're getting some more stutter. I'm not surprised that we're not hearing anything from ATIS at this point, because we're still 145 nautical miles out. You can see that the airplane's rolling left and right. Let's see if it lasts. Let's turn on bank limiter. See this button right here? B-A-N-K, bank. That will reduce the extent to which your airplane can bank left and right. It's mainly for the comfort of the passengers. So let's see, is it going to continue to roll left and right? So the way to deal with this when it does it is to activate HDG. Always remember, before you activate HDG to sync your heading bug, so that by pressing the HDG button right here, you don't start making your airplane turn radically. So right now you see the heading bug right here is basically at about 08, 078. By pressing the sync button, watch what happens to this, if you can see it. This Scion heading bug, when I push sync, it'll move. And now we'll engage heading mode, and that'll stop this ridiculous, annoying left-right roll, which I don't want to have to do. It's stupid that I have to do it, but it's one way to deal with a bug. What's so frustrating about that bug is that Asobo fixed it. It was present in earlier versions. Actually, there was an even worse version of it, because the previous version of that bug was what we call porpoising. Instead of going from left to right, it would go up and down, which is even more annoying. Anyway, they fixed both of these things, and then with the most recent, or actually the patch before the most recent patch, they reintroduced it. I don't know. I'm not a software developer or a coder or whatever. I don't know what it is about all this, which I freely concede is very complex, that would cause a previously solved problem to be reintroduced. But that's what happened. And a lot of people commented on it, myself included, on the Zendesk, and they didn't fix it on the most recent update. And it was weird because like 6 weeks went by. Anyway, by using the HDG button, the problem is you can start to get off track, and as you can see here from this magenta CDI, we want to turn right a little bit, just a couple of degrees, to get back online. Now, we're not dramatically off. We're not off course at all, frankly. Look. I mean, we're still going in the right direction. We're just slightly left of our track course. By the way, it looks like somebody just took off. There he is. Yeah, see? That's cool. Winds are pretty freshening out of the northeast. Man, we are really moving. Mach 0.8, but I'm just not used to seeing these numbers. The knots indicated airspeed of 357 knots freaks me out a little bit. But it shouldn't. It's just because we're not very high. Now you'll see, once we get to frost, using the HDG button is more problematic because there's a turn involved at frost. 112 miles out, at 25,000 feet, you'd customarily expect ATC to start talking to you at 83 miles. 83 miles from the airport. We're at 110 miles, but we're moving at 1 mile every 7 seconds. So we're going to be at 83 miles here shortly. You see, we're back online here, back in line on our CDI, our course deviation indicator. That magenta line is perfectly aligned with this arrow, meaning that we're on track. But if you watch very closely, it's starting to very gently move to the left, which means that we could stand to alter our heading by 1 degree to the left. It's stupid that I have to do this. I shouldn't have to do it, but until they fix this, I mean, I guess I could just sit here and allow the plane to rock left and right. But and I'm sure this will make sense to anybody who's a real flight sim nerd. If I was flying at 25,000 feet on a flight from Grand Cayman to Montego Bay, the plane would not be rocking left and right.
Cessna 3 Bravo Whiskey descend and maintain 13,000 feet.
All right, so we got our descent instruction down to 13,000, and we're still 99 miles out. So they
13,000 feet, Cessna 3 Bravo Whiskey.
they got to us earlier than they needed to, but it doesn't mean that there's a problem with it. And we'll switch over. We're going to definitely have to slow down as we descend, but descend at 1,800 feet per minute. I'm using the VS button right here, and that's reflected right here, showing us how many feet per minute we're descending. We're going to want to get down to about 280 knots. We're just about on top of frost right now, so we're going to switch back to nav mode. And you can see there's Jamaica. So I don't know if we can see it. Do we have visibility on it? No, not yet. It's still too far. Might be, probably that. See those clouds? Oh yeah, I do actually see some mountains. Yeah, there's Jamaica. Anyway, I'm just not going to sit through ridiculous left-right oscillation rolls. Now this is a right turn, but it's a perfectly understandable right turn. It should be turning right. Why? Because we're at frost. Right here, you see? So we need to turn right. But anyway, it's worth it to me on these flights where I'm up on the flight deck for the whole time. To babysit it. Want that KIAS. It's defaulted to Mach 0.735. Anyway, we want that to get down to probably 280 knots. Descending. Increase our descent rate actually. 2,000 feet per minute. Still faster than we should be. But it's okay. We're good. 80 miles out, 21,000 feet. Normally you'd expect to be at 70 miles, 21,000 feet. So that's good. I'd rather be a little bit lower than too high, especially on an overwater approach, just because there's no terrain to worry about, and it's such a bitch trying to chase the glide slope down. I'd way rather intercept the glide slope from under, as opposed to from above. You know, chasing it. Our ground speed's 425 knots. Estimated time en route is, well, it's 11 minutes based on our current speed, but that's going to change. That's, I think we'll probably be on the ground about 20 minutes. Remember, once we get to Omoxie, that's when we're on final. So it's kind of a weird approach, which I don't mind. Actually, I think it's kind of cool. I'm very excited to see this in real life, though. 70 miles out, 18,500 feet. There's the island of Jamaica. Still got that weird left-right oscillation roll, but it's not as pronounced as you come into these lower altitudes. We're descending through transition altitude past 18,000 feet, so we'll have to get an altimeter update from ATC. Right now, though, we've been instructed to descend to 13,000 feet. I just cannot tolerate the left-right oscillation roll, so I'm going to sync our heading bug. I'm going to engage the HDG button. And now we don't have any more rolling. We just have to make sure that we don't forget that we're flying HDG instead of nav.
Nearest altimeter 1014.
Betty says the nearest altimeter is 1014. Unfortunately, I don't know what that is in inches of mercury, so I'm going to use the B key. And that's 29 or 9 or 4. So that's good. It's a beautiful day. I mean, really. In Jamaica. Actually, throughout the entire Caribbean. Winds are out of the northeast, and it's 81 degrees and mostly sunny in Montego Bay right now. I mean, honest to God. Winds are... Live weather is winds are out of the east at 21 miles an hour. But we're landing on runway 07, so it shouldn't be any crosswind problems. It's 5:20 in the afternoon. 5:20 in Jamaica. And there's the island. And the airport, if memory serves, is right around here somewhere. I can't tell you honestly. There's the bay. There's the bay. That right there is that, I think. Anyway, we're looking good. Continue slowing. We're 13,000 feet, so we really do need to start to slow down. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to deactivate the auto throttle. I'm going to break out the speed brakes, because we're at 13,000 feet, and we're about to level out. Switch off Mach mode. I'm going to take us down to 260. We should get further descent instructions now.
Cessna 3 Bravo Whiskey descend and maintain 7,000 feet.
As predicted, down to 7,000. Cessna 3
Descend and
Whiskey.
maintain 7,000 feet. Cessna 3 Bravo Whiskey.
Continue that descent. ATC's really been behaving lately. I mean, it's been great. Those problems that I encountered on some of my other flights, it drove me crazy. Where they stop talking to you or whatever, so on and so forth. That just doesn't. It hasn't happened lately. At least not to the extent that it's impacting the flights. We did that VOR DME yesterday into Grand Cayman, and they stopped. We never got landing clearance. But I mean, at least we got our descent instructions. They just never gave us clearance to land. That didn't stop me from landing, though. Turn off our bank limiter. We're 11,800 feet, descending down to 7,000. Just to give you a perspective here. Okay, so as I said, we're about to fly over the mountainous region of the northwest tip of Jamaica. Showing 47 miles from the airport and 11,000 feet. Here's the northwestern tip, Montego Bay. Oh, I can't wait to see it in real life. I'm really excited. That's going to be a lot of fun. 10,400 feet now, descending to 7,000 feet at 1,800 feet per minute. We'll shallow out the descent rate slightly. Set it at 1,400 feet per minute. I just realized we're still on HDG mode. Remember I told you we can't forget? I forgot.
Whiskey, contact Sangster approach on 120 decibel.
Luckily it didn't make a difference because we're
120 decibel for Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey.
didn't impact us in any way. Turn it in
Sangster approach Cessna November Tree 4 Tree Bravo Whiskey.
A1 right now, you see?
500 feet for 7,000 feet.
See?
Cessna November Tree.
There's the airport.
Sangster approach. Continue as planned.
Now in theory, why couldn't we just swoop in and land? I don't know, but that's not how this arrival is permitted. So I'd prefer to just swoop right in and land right there.
Bravo
But
Whiskey, you are 20 miles west. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway 7 approach via Sierra India Alpha transition. Cleared to Sierra India Alpha.
cleared to Sierra India Alpha right here.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway 7 approach via Sierra India Alpha transition. Cleared to Sierra India
There,
Alpha.
in there.
Cessna
There it
Tree
is.
Bravo.
SIA. So it's the SIA transition, the Sierra India Alpha transition. Kind of weird. Going a little faster than we should, so let's slow down. Getting a little stutters. What's that all about? No need to switch the nav source over to nav 1 until we get to Omoxie. Let's see if we get any ATIS information. Come on. Oh, it started.
Sangster Airport.
There it is.
Information Kilo,
Listen.
2000. Wind 086 at 39er.
Jesus.
Visibility 6.
086 at 39er. 39 knots out of the east.
Few clouds at 4,200 feet.
These cloud descriptions are always the same.
300 feet.
They just make it up. Temperature's correct though.
10. Altimeter 29er decimal 904. ILS runway 7 in use.
Correct.
Landing and departing runway 7.
That's that.
DSR aircraft. Say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions.
Okay.
Advise controller on
Okay. Good. So, yeah, some of that's useful, I guess, a little. Most of it's useless. They just make shit up. In terms of the clouds, few clouds at, few clouds at, few clouds at. They just make that up. That's not at all descriptive. And the winds are also erroneous in as much as they said they were, what'd she say, 086 at 39? It's not a sustained wind out of the east at 39 knots. It's just ridiculous. For whatever reason, the sim's not programmed to do what you would normally expect to hear in ATC, which is winds are X gusting to Y. That's what you'd normally expect to hear. So what I've noticed is it seems to report the highest recorded wind speed. Let's get our landing lights on. Even if it's a gust, and then just say that those are the sustained winds. So that's a little weird. Here's Montego Bay. I'm going to be there in a few weeks. Can't wait to see it. Meanwhile, here's the rest of Jamaica, which apparently I'm not going to see. This is like an all-inclusive place we're going to, which is great. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but I guess, I don't know, at night they like pull up the drawbridge or something and you don't go and see anything. I was a little alarmed. I saw some announcement on the State Department's website about travel warnings in Jamaica. But we'll stay at the resort behind the drawbridge. So ATC appears to have stopped talking to us? Or well, not necessarily. I mean, we might just be at 7,000 feet and we don't need to be any lower. Remember what I said, we know we need to be at Omoxie at 3,000 feet. Here, Omoxie. And that's, right now we're still, well, we're 38 seconds from SIA, from the airport, VOR. But still, I'd like to get a further descent instruction. Slow to 210. Making that left turn, as you can see. Zoom in on that one more notch. See? My only question is, will we get further descent instructions? We don't want descent instructions, I gather, right now, just because we're coming in over mountains on this late afternoon day. See? There it is. So 3,000 feet is the published approach plate altitude for Omoxie, as I mentioned. So we'll set our altitude selector at 3,000 feet. We'll select VS at a very modest 700 feet per minute. And what'll be useful to us is, I mean, just keep in mind, right now we're headed to SIA, S-I-A. SIA, isn't she a singer? I vaguely remember someone named Sia. Stuttery. I don't know why we're encountering that. Anyway, look. There's Sia. Right here. Basically at the airport. See? Okay, that's the VOR frequency. But we don't need to be at 3,000 feet until Omoxie. So we're not going to have any problem descending to the required altitude. Little stuttery though. I hate to say it, but because by and large my system has been pretty solid. You know, I've got settings at ultra. And it's been handling it, but I don't know. It seems a little. It's weird. It sometimes it just it gets stuttery and then it reverts back to normal high quality performance. Okay, so we're about to fly over the airport. There's the airport. Right there. You can see from this VFR map, we'll fly over the airport, back out over the water to D280K, Delta 280 Kilo. Then we'll make another left turn to Omoxie, and then when we get to Omoxie, we're on final. So we're just about over the airport right now. There it is. My hotel is somewhere along the coast right there. Looking forward to that. Ooh, lots of planes on the ground. Look at this. Runway 7. That's where we're going to be landing in about 5 minutes, friends. Okay. 5,000 feet. About 22 miles left. I'll keep our speed up until we get to D280K, Delta 280 Kilo. Then we'll start our slowdown. That'll enable us to, whoops. That'll enable us to use this leg from Delta 280 Kilo to Omoxy. We'll use this leg to slow down and start configuring the airplane for landing and switching over the, here we are right here, see? Switching over the nav source to nav 1 and getting ready for APPR. See, now it's not, now there's no stuttering at all.
Sangster approach Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey would like to cancel IFR.
Oh, don't do this to me again!
Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey IFR flight plan is canceled. Radar service terminated.
God damn it.
7000. Maintain VFR.
I really don't know why it does this. I would love some insight as to why it's doing this.
Cessna November Tree 4 Tree Bravo Whiskey is type Cessna C 706 miles.
It's all right.
Sangster.
We'll I mean, it's going to deal with it. You just have to sit through all this bullshit on the ATC.
Cessna November Tree 4 Tree Bravo Whiskey Sangster approach. Squawk 2 Tree 3
Sangster! Sounds a lot like gangster. I'm actually trying to remember, did this happen the last time I flew into... This happened when I flew into Sarasota or Boca.
8 miles west of Sangster 3,900 feet.
So stupid. Shallow out the descent rate 500 feet per minute. Here's the beautiful island of Jamaica. To land. Yeah, see, so it ended up doing the exact same thing anyway.
November Tree 4 Tree Bravo Whiskey Sangster Tower. Fly straight in runway 7. Altimeter 29
So weird.
096 at 30.
096. So still out of the east, gusting to 30. So windy. Okay, there's the left turn I mentioned. We're going to start slowing now. Oh, fuck.
Landing gear.
Okay. Beautiful. See, no stuttering at all. I don't know where that was coming from. Leveling out at 3,000. We have glide slope info now. As I mentioned, we're going to use this leg between D280K and Omoxy to start configuring everything. Set 180. Good. And leveling out at 3,000. That's good. See that white diamond right there? Showing us just underneath the glide slope, just where we want to be. And we'll get ready to make another big left turn. And now we can go and switch over, nav source over. Look at the sunlight. Oh, to nav 1. There it is. We'll do a notch of flaps now that we're in the white tape. See if we can turn on the APPR and grab that glide slope. Continue slowing, 175. Now 170. We're at 3,000 feet and we'll depressurize. So we're at 3,000 feet, 14 miles out. This should trigger the glide slope to intercept as we fly into it. Come on. There it is. Boom. Do I know what I'm talking about or what occasionally? Most of the time I don't, but... So we're a little off here, you can see, and the only reason for that is because I activated the nav 1 on the nav source and the APPR. So we're about to turn left and intercept. There's the runway. And I see red and white, very far red and white on the Bossy. Little laggy though, I don't like this. Okay, outside we're 8.4 nautical miles. Oh, cool. Let's do gear. Another notch of flaps. There's the runway. Bouncing around a little bit because of the wind. Look at that. You see how the airplane's dancing? Really bouncing around. That's because of the wind. It is windy. I mean, the 39 knot reference is, of course, ridiculous, but you can see 22 knots coming straight at us, basically straight at us. Thankfully, no crosswinds or anything to worry about. We're still on the glide slope. Always reconfirm that, because sometimes it slips off of it. A little bit low if this green diamond is to be believed. It's at 150. Full flaps.
Cleared to land runway 7. Wind 09 or 6 at 30.
09 or 6 at 30. We know that's manifestly incorrect because we're headed due east right now and the winds are reporting aloft as 21 knots, 22 knots. So, but again, that's consistent with my theory anyway, that it's reporting gusts, not sustained winds. Beautiful. Look at that. Nice. Oh, I can't wait. I'll tell you after I get back from Jamaica if this is what it looks like on final. I'm going to guess that we're going to land, when I do land in Jamaica, on runway 07. Okay, we're going to disconnect the auto throttle now. Keep an eye on that airspeed.
Final runway 07.
3 mile final. Okay, airspeed's 140, that's good. Full flaps, landing lights, gear confirmed down. Gear confirmed down. Don't want a belly landing. Got 1 white, 3 reds on the poppies, so we're okay. Keep our airspeed up a little bit just because that wind's coming straight at us. And if it suddenly dropped, our airspeed would be too low. Oh my God, I just love it. Look at the water. God.
500.
500.
500, autopilot.
Autopilot.
I have the airplane. Now 1 white, 3 reds. Now 2 whites, 2 reds. Water looks fantastic. Oh. 3 whites, 1 red. Remember, it's an 8,700 foot long runway, so we got room to maneuver. 2 and 2. I love the shadow of the plane. That's fucking awesome. Sweet. Really nice. That was great. Just forgot to zoom in on the MFD here. Okay, we got a high-speed exit on the right coming up. That was great. It was really... I just love this game so much. It's ridiculous. Where's that exit? There it is. Up on the right, right? There it is. Yep, I see it. That wind is so stiff that we're coming at that it's helped us slow down pretty significantly. Okay, back in Jamaica, Montego Bay. Let's go get some jerk chicken. Sounds pretty good to me, to be honest. I didn't have any lunch today. Should have had lunch. I had late breakfast, but... I am, son of a bitch.
Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey, contact ground on 121.7.
Okay, so we'll stop at the second notch of bars here. Okay. There they are. Oh, this was a great full flight. Contact ground. Sangster ground. Taxi to parking.
Sangster ground Cessna November 34
I'm staying at
taxi to parking.
Cessna November
the
343 Bravo Whiskey Taxi to General Aviation.
Half Moon Luxury Resort.
Taxiing to General Aviation, parking
Not in real life.
taxiway
I'm not going
on
to tell you
Cessna
where I'm
3
staying in
Bravo
real life.
Whiskey.
Not that anybody's watching this, but tonight, welcome to Montego Bay, by the way, 5:42 p.m. I'm staying at the Half Moon Luxury Resort, whatever that is. It sounds nice, though. Let's bring those spoilers in. God, the poor things are still out. And retract the flaps. All right, now we'll go ahead and take care of our lights. There we go. All right. Stop our timer. So, 47 minutes since we started our takeoff roll. Stop. All right, so let's park. We'll wrap this up. Come on, we'll make that right turn. There you go. Ramp 16, that's where we're parking. Have to remember that. I don't know where I'm going after this. Maybe Orlando? Orlando's going to be busy tomorrow, I think. For reasons I will leave unsaid. Tomorrow, Sunday, February 28th. Oh God, I think this happened last time there was a car on the taxiway. I'm gonna just taxi right through this guy. Okay, there's our parking space. Look at this, it's so ridiculous. It's funny. Okay, there's our flashlight guy. Oh, heartbreak, I almost made it. All right, there we go. Okay, parking brake. Right engine. Look outside real quick. There we are. Let's turn off that poor taxi. I always forget to do that. That taxi light. Look at that. That's beautiful. Oh, I love it. Look at it. Sun's going down. Oh, and we're in Montego Bay. Oh, God. I wish this was real. Stupid COVID. Look at that plane. Oh, good golly, Miss Molly. And just like last time, that airplane is... You see that? It's parked... The airplane is parked inside the terminal. That sounds like it's probably not good. Yeah, see? Okay. I'll stop being a pill. All right. Let's go ahead and turn off anti-icing and pitot-static and let's notice this. Nearest airport, intersection, VOR, and NDB. I never noticed that before. All right, gang. Thank you for joining us on this fun flight to Montego Bay, Jamaica. And we're happy to have had you. And let's drop to the logbook screen. 44 minutes, 4 seconds. MWCR to MKJS. Day takeoff, day landing. Look at this, 316 hours in the sim. Not half bad. Anyway, I'm going to go get some jerk chicken. Thanks for joining us.